Hey folks, welcome to Wolpin's Gaming Den. Today we're going to unbox the game An Age Contrived. Specifically, we're looking at the Founders Edition for this box, so keep in mind the version that you have may differ from this one in terms of some of the components and whatnot. However, obviously the core game is still expected to be the same, and this should still give you a good idea of what to expect should you decide to pick one of these up for yourselves. It is obviously a bit on the heavier side, if you cannot tell. It's definitely heavy as I try to lift it up over here. There's a little bit of fantasy theme going on in here as well. As we can see, there is a dragon of some sort. There is a bird, I think. Let's see if we can make that out. Looks like a bird. Yeah, so we're going to crack into this. We're going to see what's inside the box for this one. Now, because we had the Founders Edition, we also had a couple of other add-ons as part of the Kickstarter package, which is where I got this from. So we have the Ad Infinitum expansion pack, which is something called a repeated play pack. So I assume this means that you can potentially repeat plays of some of these games. Now, I'm not really sure what that means, because I'm not 100% sure if this is sort of like I don't think it's a legacy style game, but if there's components that get used up over a period of time or not, and this is sort of like a recharge pack for that. So we'll see what's inside this when we crack this one open. We also have some upgraded kits as part of our game package. Now there's metal coins in here, I assume, and there's some player trays and whatnot that would require assembly as well. So we're gonna crack into this and see what's inside in this one as well. But we'll come back to this at the end, so we'll save it for that. So let's put this aside for now. We're gonna put this aside for now, and we're gonna come and have a look at the main game itself. Now, as we can see, it's definitely a bigger box and on the heavier end, but there's some lovely artwork going on in here. I really like the aesthetic of the cover, and as I'm moving my hands through it, there's embossing, or I don't know what's the right word for it, happening on in here, because you can make the letters, the words in here are definitely popping out as I move my finger through it. So there's a certain 3D depth aspect to it as well. The game is expected to be played by roughly 1 to 5 players in 1.5 to 2 hours. So for a player like me who enjoys games that are a little bit more heavier, thematic, it's a good sweet spot to be at if we can usually get most of these games down to a couple of hours. Although I expect that the first game might run a little bit longer. The game is designed by Chris Matthew and published by, let's see, Bellows Indent. And we can, on the back here, see what we can expect to see inside the game board. There's going to be some sort of a big game board itself. We can expect some miniatures and some other stuff that maybe we build out of cardboard. We'll see what that is when we get into it. But overall, first impressions are definitely quite on the positive side. So let's get the shrink off and see what's inside this box for ourselves. All right. Oh, sorry about that. It's definitely going to be a challenge maneuvering around the camera with the box that is this heavy. So apologies in advance for what I'm sure is going to be the first of multiple bumps. There we go. All right. So here we have the main game box itself. And again, I like the negative space in here. It definitely makes this image in the center pop out a lot more. So I'm a huge fan of that. Now, if I remember correctly, this is the game where you get customized messaging on the inside of the lid. So, all right, there we go. So there's a personal message for myself. These are my family members. So they are there. All right, so I like it overall. It's definitely very aesthetic. Again, it's a nice personal touch. You could put something goofy, you could put something fun, you could put something that's personal. It's a nice way to personalize your own copy for yourself, and I think this is maybe a bit of a better option than just having sort of like the name of all the backers published somewhere in there. So definitely appreciate this option being present in that game. All right, now we have the rule book. Not a small book by any Stretch of the imagination. There's a list of components. Full setup. Definitely feels like it's going to take a little bit of table space, which is fine, which is to be expected for a game of this sort. Okay, so there's definitely quite a bit to get through from a rules perspective. So I suppose, let's see, 32 pages. Well, you get the game end on the 32nd page. So there is quite a bit to get through to learn the game and get into it. Hopefully the rules are intuitive so that maybe once you learn them, you do remember them quite easily as well. You have something called a monument section, and I'm not really sure what that means. I think these are some of the 3D structures that you build on the game board, but we'll see what that is as we get to it. We have the solo rulebook as well. So if you're somebody who enjoys playing their board games on the solo side, looks like there's going to be a dedicated version for this one as well. So it's something for you to look forward to on that end. And again, it's not like a one-page variant or whatever. It's like a proper rule book for the solo mode. So hopefully there's stuff in there to get excited about as well. We get a bag, which we can move off to the side. That was foam, which I assume is to provide the added space where some of the extras will hopefully slot in. Right, okay, so we now have 5, I assume these are player aids. And, well, it's almost like a brochure, like a bifold brochure. So, all right, so I don't know if this is meant to be like very comprehensive and hence you have 4 pages, or if there really is a lot going on in there. I mean, we'll hopefully get a better sense of it as we play it out, but I'd rather have more than less. So it's, I'm glad there's one for each player and you don't have to share these with anybody else, which honestly in today's day and age, publishers really should not be doing that. So I'm glad that this one has the full set. There's a board of some sort. There's a deploy pool, action pool. Now this is it's not cardboard. It's more like card stock. So that's there. Are these stickers? They're stickers with some symbols on them. I assume you might be putting them on certain pieces. Let's see. What are these? Has a nice matte finish to it, or at least feels matte. I think these might be stickers as well. I think so. So maybe you're taking these off and putting them on something. We'll try and see if we can identify where these go on as we get along with the unboxing. Now we have a lot of cardboard in one go. So let's try and get into it and see what we can find here. I mean, this game is definitely sort of like going all out from a component standpoint by the look of things. It's giving you good insert, I think, or at least I hope. There definitely seems, I mean, so far I've enjoyed the artwork quite a bit as well. So that's there. Okay, now this is off. All right. So we get a score pad. We get a World Tree Monument. And it looks like it's one of those things that you're going to build. Punches out relatively easily. We'll figure out how to put this together later on. There's a game. This is the game board, I assume. Yep. So we'll come back to this at the end. It looks like there's holes on these, so you might be building things on the game board, hopefully while you're playing, as opposed to while it's inside the box. So we'll come back to that and have a look at that later on. These might be play boards. And I think these punch out as well. I mean, all the things that are punching out quite well. Thickness on the cardboard is decent. It's not bad. So you have more of these. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I assume that these are maybe for the 5 players. And then you have, I mean, it's hard to tell what these do without knowing the rules of the game. I've seen some pictures and videos of these, so they probably go in some sort of a player tableau type area. With these punch out as well. Everything's punching out quite well, so that's good. So there's more of those. More cardboard items in here, so there's more of those things that we're expected to world monuments or something that they were called. I forget. Yeah, there's a lot of cardboard to get through, so I'm not going to punch out all of these because I won't be really able to comment on what they are as I'm doing them because I don't know what they are at the moment. But overall, I can definitely confirm that the thickness of the cardboard is good, so you're going to be happy with that. And aesthetically, it looks quite nice. So the color scheme, the color palette, it's all very good. Some of the dark green and the dark blue do feel like they blend together a little bit, but I'm just nitpicking when I say that. It's altogether, it's actually quite pleasant. All right, so with that gone, we can now have a look at what we have on the inside. We have a bunch of trays. There's one, two, there's a third one. Looks like they're all the same and potentially they might stack. We have one lid. Do we have lids for each of them? I mean, there's a spot to have the lid go in. So there's 3 here, and I guess there might be 3 in here. Is it 3? No, there's 2 in here. And there's 2 lids, so 5 bases, 3 lids, and 2 more covers in here. All right, so we have each looks like there might be one sort of like a player tray for each player, so you get all your components in one neat stack, which I really, really like. And this feels quite decent from a quality point of view as well. The lids were snapping shut quite well, so all of that is good stuff. All right, we have another tray. I assume we saw some punch outs that look similar to that. If you remember these, I assume they probably go into something like that, and then some other stuff will probably go in here, but otherwise comes with its own lid and seems to snap on decently well. So overall, very happy with the insert so far. I think the quality and the look of things is definitely holding up. Now we get a bunch of cards. They may or may not be tarot sized, but even if they're not tarot sized, they're in that range. So hopefully you have a sense of what they are. Now let's see if I can get into this without spending the rest of the day. There we go. Oh, are these reference cards? Looks like there's some sort of a scoring thing at the back. These all seem to correspond to individual player boards. And then what is this? The exhausted pool. Are these cards for the solo mode? I'm not sure. Freya, build. Rusney, Row, Wander. So these are double-sided, and you may be doing something else with the other side. So in either case, cardstock, it's good. I'm not going to be sleeving these if these are meant for the solo game, but if not, I might have to figure out what size these are and get them sleeved at some point. So that's good. So that's there. We have a huge bag of a lot of tiles. So let's crack into this and see what we have in here. We're going to look at some of them. These are nice. Now, if you've played Azul, hopefully that will give you a good sense of the kind of tile we're looking at in terms of the size, texture, look and feel, and whatnot, right? And these are really nice. These are really nice. I assume they could have been cardboard, but I'm really glad these are tiles. Yeah, so you get a whole chock full bag of these, which I'm really excited about. So you get them in, I don't know, different colors. I don't know if these are specific to player colors or if these are specific to actions or abilities or whatever, but these are very, very cool. So there's a whole pack of them. We have some minis. We'll come to that in a second. I haven't forgotten that. We do have metal first player marker. Okay, which is very nice. And we have, what are these? These are Metal Divine Wind tokens. It says 5 pieces, so there's 5 of them. We can have a look at one. These are definitely nice, right? And they're metal pieces, so they're nice and chunky and they have a good feel to it. Hopefully you interact with them enough for it to be worthwhile in the game. But I mean, from a component point of view, these could have just been metal, but these are very nice. That purple thing, and then the blue diamond shaped, whatever that is, it's pretty cool. All right, so we now are going to look at some of the miniatures that come in the game, and it looks like the bases get their own colors. And I think these have a wash on them because the details really pop out quite well. I think there is a wash on them. Okay. That is very cool. Yeah, these are not huge miniatures. These are definitely on the smaller end. Not the smallest, obviously, just on the smaller side, relatively speaking. But overall, the level of detail and finish is very, very good. And the wash on them is making it pop quite well. Excuse me. Yeah, I love the detail on these. These look quite nice up close as well. So hopefully you can tell the difference or appreciate the difference from the video, but they look really, really nice in person. Really well done. Excellent. All right. So that's everything that we get in here. Let me put these off. Now I'm going to move this off to the side so that we can bring the game board and show you guys what's happening in there. Now, I assume this is going to be a big game board, so we're going to try and see how much of that we can fit into the screen. All right. So far, so good. All right, doing well. So it is a single-sided game board. The other side, if you haven't seen it yet, is black. There's something white on some of the spots. I don't know what those are, but we'll come back to that a little later on. All right, so definitely a full-size board. Color aesthetic is quite nice. The board is like flat on my table, which is also a very good sign. Yeah, there's definitely these spots, which it looks like you're going to be building something out, those structures and whatnot on the game board. So there's that here. There's one in the center there. There's one more here, and then if I pan across, there's a couple more, one over there, and then one over here. Looks like, I mean, I have the board upside down, so you can see the numbers are upside down as well, but you have stuff that's onto the side, on both the ends. Yeah, overall, the color palette, it's definitely very bright and vibrant, so it pops quite a bit. It's good. I'm going to have to get a couple of plays in to figure out if it feels busy or not. There's a chance that it may or may not feel a little busy, just given everything that's ongoing. But visually, so far, I like it. I'm definitely very happy with sort of like how the look and feel of this has turned out. So very excited to get this to the table and played. All right, so that's the game board. So let's put this off to the side. Now, if you remember, we had a couple of extra stuff, which we're now going to break out and see what's happening with these guys. So first off, we're going to look at the ad infinitum expansion. Let's do that. All right, so let's crack this open. So it's definitely a proper box. It's not flimsy, unlike some other small boxes which you often get. You get a box, well, you get a repeated playback. There's some components in here. So there's a Pantheon lock sheet, achievement tokens, infinitum benefit token. Okay. Feels less like a recharge bag and more like a here's some stuff for you to add on to your gameplay experience kind of a thing. These are in different languages. Okay, so it's the same thing, different languages. Right, German, Italian, Spanish, Chinese. All right, so let's see what we have in here. There's some cardboard for us to punch out. There's some tokens. Looks like another monument or something that you get, structure that you get to build on the game board. Okay, so one folded sheet of cardboard, we'll call it that. And then, okay, so this is not a score pad, it's just one sheet. It's paper, so the stock is paper. It's thick paper, but it's paper. And maybe it's some sort of an achievement sheet, like a score sheet that you can keep over a period of time. Maybe it's like a game where you're playing with the same group again and again and you keep tally of how everybody's done. Maybe. I'm just guessing. I honestly don't know what it is. But that would be my guess if you were to put a gun to my head right now and ask what it was. All right. So that's the ad infinitum expansion. Let's move this off to the side. And we're going to bring out our box of goodies. I'm going to call it that, box of goodies. All right, let's move some of these stuff off. And our box of goodies come on. All right, so let's crack into this. So it says puncture, shrink wrap, lift here. So we're supposed to, is that what we're supposed to do? So that's one. That's two. Hopefully I did that right. Although I don't know why I could have done this from the sides and taken it off as well. But anyway, if the instruction tells you to do something, you do that something is how I would do it. All right, lift here. Well, feels more like lift here. Is that right? Okay. Excuse me. So we get some foams. We get, okay, so this is where the metal tray comes into play. Okay. So this is metal, in case you cannot tell. Looks like these are meant to be put together in a particular way. And I think it may already have been put in correctly, and I've just made it worse by doing that. But that's that. We have another metal tray. Then we have a third one. I think it's just the 5 of these going all the way down potentially. I'm gonna dig in and try and see if I can confirm that. There is 3 more of them. Okay, so I'm not gonna go through the whole sequence because it's the same thing that we will find. There's basically 5 of these going all the way down inside that foam insert over there. So that, I assume that's what the playboard is. And you're going to put different things in here that hopefully will help you keep your player components in check or aligned or whatnot. Although I'm still very curious to understand why it had to be metal and not something else. But I'm sure that question is going to be answered fairly easily once we get the game together. All right, so there's more of those metal components in here. I'm gonna give you guys a quick look at what some of these look like. Right? Okay. And I think they're all pretty much the same, so I'm not going to take them out, but it's a huge bag of them. We're not talking about like 4 or 5 or whatever. There's, I don't know, maybe 2 dozen or more in there. There's quite a few. All right, so move that onto the side. So that's one box done. And we have another box. There's more metal in here. I'm not going to bring this out anymore. I think unless you're putting these together, it's not a lot of useful information to know how this goes together, but just know that there is definitely going to be this player board and then some of these which seem more 3D in nature, and then these individual ones where there's a truckload of them that needs to be put together for that. Now there is what are these? These are the metal channel tokens, and we have a few of them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna take out one of these so that we can have a look at it together. And this is really, really nice. Yeah, this is really nice. Just in case you guys are interested in checking out all of them, I'm just going to quickly show you. This is the other one. It's 3D depth as well. It's very cool. Whoever designed the metal components for this, again, I cannot speak to the player board, but the rest of the stuff, kudos to the work done on this. Looks like some sort of a tree. Looks like a hand. Then what is that on the back? And I think we have one more. Very cool. I really, really like these channel pins, so they're pretty good. So let's put them back in the bag where I'm not damaging them or losing them quite easily. I should mention that I have a soon-to-be 3-year-old son at home, and he likes to move things around, so I gotta be careful on that one. All right. There is, I assume these are again related to these. What are these? I'm actually curious. Hold on. I think these are related to the player trays that we had a look at earlier, but I don't know what these are supposed to do. Is that like a chain? No, they come off. What is that? What am I looking at? That's a spring. Hello. Okay, so we got a bag full of metal springs that we'll do something with. That should be interesting to find out. And then there's a few, I assume these are extras just in case you lose a few of them or maybe damage a few of them. There is, what is that? Some sort of tape. We'll figure out what that is again when we put the things together. And then this is empty. So, okay. So that was interesting. That's a lot of components in the game box itself. There's a lot of interesting components for sure. I've never seen metal player trays, so there's a first in there no matter what for that. Yeah, overall, I don't know how the game is going to turn out, but from a components point of view, I am definitely absolutely intrigued. And again, I like a fantasy theme. This is meant to be more of a Euro than anything else, so that's something that also gets me excited. And the component quality on this one is definitely very, very good. So far, I've not found anything that I've not liked. There's definitely a few things that have raised question marks, namely the metal plate trays, and I'm going to see how easy or difficult it is to put that together. But I am excited about trying this game out. And we'll see whether we do sort of like a review for this one afterwards as well or not. Depends on if I can get it played enough times for me to sort of like form a valid, confident judgment on it. But as of now, I'm excited to try it out. Let me know in the comments down below if you are looking to pick one of these up for yourself and what you think of it if you've already gone through the components and looked at all the stuff that's in here. All right. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us out. We'll be putting out more of these videos on a regular basis. So stay tuned for more of those. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care.